I really like that they added the bathroom scene with all the girls at the bar because that's literally how girls are in bar washrooms or club bathrooms. Whenever we see a girl in the bathroom, whether they're like super pretty or they are they're crying or something like that, depending on the level of drunkenness, we would normally be like, oh my God, hey, you're so pretty. Or like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, we would really help them in there. So I think the bathroom scene, like that warmed my heart. I'm like, they nailed that. That was great. Hey guys, welcome back to Canon Cinema. I'm Amanda, otherwise known as AMX ND Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. Today I will be reviewing episode 1 of She-Hulk. This will be spoiler filled, and shout out to Disney again for giving me the opportunity to watch the first 4 episodes. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun to get through these. So let's talk about episode 1 of She-Hulk. Now, it is directed by Kate Coiro, and I think that she really understood the tone of She-Hulk from the comics, from what I've read, certain panels, certain storylines. I really do think that she nailed the tone of it, and it was presented in the first episode. We got to see a bit of Jennifer Walters right off the bat, and I do think that Tatiana Maslany, as I've said in my preview, is a rock star. She's so great. She's Canadian. Hey. I will say that in every single review, I absolutely love her, and I think that she is really coming into her own as Jennifer Walters. I think that she's always had a place in the MCU, and it just feels like she's naturally coming into it as Bruce's cousin. So I felt like that was really chill. We started off the show with her, with Jennifer Walters, and she's in her office. She's going over some legal notes before a trial, and she's kind of like practicing, which is great to see. I think that we need to see more of that. And again, ground level lawyer work, much like we saw in Daredevil. But this is a bit more fun, more sitcom-y. She has a very quick wit, and I love that about her. I love that about Jennifer Walters. But again, it's more of like she's a boss ass woman. And I feel like a lot of people are like, she's a feminist, and they're really banging it over the head that she's a woman. This is her show. She's a lawyer. She doesn't want the freaking workplace BS and the misogyny in the workplace, and how men are like feel entitled to kind of like tell her how to do her job, and she's always like trying to prove herself. That comes with the territory. Unfortunately, being a woman in the workplace, as annoying it may seem for you guys to watch it, that's what we go through. So we're going to talk about authenticity. Voila, She-Hulk. So it makes complete sense as to why they're integrating that. I didn't feel like it was too much or they were beating us over the head with it. I felt like it was just perfectly natural to have that integrated into an episode, especially with a woman who's going to trial. And then she has this other guy at her law firm basically saying, I don't think you should do it that way. I should take over, blah, blah, blah. No, Dennis, no. We're going to let Jennifer Walters do her thing. So I'm perfectly fine with that. If you feel like it's a bit much, that's She-Hulk. That's Jennifer Walters. That's her character. We're going to get a lot more of that in the next 3 episodes. And it's fine. It works. She's a boss ass woman. Okay. And she's a bomb lawyer. And that's what we're seeing. Then we get a 4th wall break. Now, the 4th wall break is fine. But my issue with the 4th wall break is that it's not consistent throughout the episode. I feel like within the first episode, we get it at the beginning and then at the very end, but in the middle, we kind of lose that 4th wall. And for me, it's all about consistency, where if you're going to be that meta and you're going to be talking to the audience about like cameos and like, this is my show and blah, blah, blah. Like if you're going to do that, then keep it consistent. Even with episodes 2 to 4, I think that that's what my main issue is. I guess they want to balance it out. I personally think that Jennifer Walters was at her best with Bruce Banner. She goes to talk to her cousin, go on like a little drive and all of that, and they end up getting into a car accident. I didn't know how Jennifer Walters got her powers, but I found it kind of like, I didn't like it. I thought that was just really weird that his, like, because of the scrapes from the car accident, and like Bruce Banner, completely being human because of a piece on his arm that kind of keeps him stable, that the gamma from his blood went into went into Jennifer Walters, and then she became the Hulk and she phased up. I don't know. I didn't like that. And then I appreciated the phasing. I like that they went kind of old school, like even like Lou Ferrigno old school, where like you see her phase up in the car, you see the reflection in the car, and then I really like the editing choices with her blackouts, because she would phase but she's not used to phasing as the Hulk yet, so I thought that was really cool how it would just be disorienting for her and she winds up in different spots. And I really like that they added the bathroom scene with all the girls at the bar, because that's literally how girls are in bar washrooms or club bathrooms. Whenever we see a girl in the bathroom, whether they're like super pretty or they are they're crying or something like that, depending on the level of drunkenness, we would normally be like, oh my God, hey, you're so pretty. Or like, oh my God, what's wrong? Like, we would really help them in there. So I think the bathroom scene, like that warmed my heart. I'm like, they nailed that. That was great. But then you go from the bathroom with all like those loving women and you go outside to those men, like literally preying on her and harassing her. And that was also one of my favorite moments in this first episode, was the fact that like, she remembered that she could phase. She's like, wait, these dummies are harassing me. Not on my watch. And then she's like, phase up She-Hulk. And I was like, that's the stuff that I want to see. So that was fun. And then having her come back to Mexico where Bruce trains her, I thought that was really cool. The training sequences were really strong. Again, the CGI, thank God. Thank God it got better. I really liked the training sequences. I like that they were very playful with each other, and use a little pet name for her that was really cute. So for me, I really enjoyed the first episode. They're setting up the tone, they're setting up the structure, the sitcom structure. And as I said in my preview, I think the humor just did not work for me. I didn't think it was that funny. I think that they were trying to make jokes land, they're trying to make her witty, but see, they're trying to make her witty with the writing. But then Tatiana's like natural, like effortless comedic timing brings it up a bit, but it's the writing that just doesn't stick. Like, she can work wonders with the script, and that's what she's doing right now. That's what she's doing in this first episode. It's what she does in the next 3. She really tries. But again, I think the strongest is the banter between Jennifer and Bruce. I really like them together. I wish we could see more of them. And they have a lot of conversations about the Avengers, about Steve Rogers, leave my boy alone. We get some more information about Steve Rogers, which I really enjoyed, especially in that post-credit scene. I really like that they're playing around with all of this, with their powers, with their abilities. And we learn that Jennifer can phase without really getting too emotional or too angry. She has a hold on it versus what Bruce had to go through. So I think it's based off of your emotional capacity and how you handle things, where like Bruce really had to hone it in and he had to deal with the other guy. Whereas like Jen just has this like natural capacity to deal with BS. And it's the truth, because women have to deal with it in a different way. We're always told to keep our emotions in check or to not be so emotional, because then we're considered so many other different names in the book, which is very sad. So it makes sense. Like, we have to keep our emotions in check. So that's why she's able to like phase in and out without having this other entity like inside her clashing with her. Like, she's working with the Hulk, with the gamma that's inside her. So I think that that's really an interesting take, especially as a woman. So really, this is me addressing the fact that, like, if you do not like She-Hulk because they're addressing women's issues and how women would approach certain situations, then like, you're not looking hard enough at the women in your life. You're not really acknowledging their struggles. You're not acknowledging what they have to go through day to day, whether it's in the workplace or socially. And She-Hulk is highlighting that in a fun way, in a very like sarcastic, quippy comeback way. But you have to really acknowledge that this is what we go through all the time. Different situations, for sure. But this is what we go through. There's some great moments in this episode, and there are not so great moments in this episode as well. There needs to be a balance. For me, again, just so I can wrap this up, it's more so the fact that the humor is not sticking for me. Comedy is personal, so that's what's going to be really divisive for this. I really love Tatiana Maslany. I love her chemistry with I keep saying Bruce Banner. I love her chemistry with Mark Ruffalo, and I think that's what really works. That's what really sticks. And I just want to see more of Tatiana. I think she really is killing it as Jennifer Walters. It's just the script needs to catch up with how strong she is. That's pretty much my review for this first episode of She-Hulk. If you guys really enjoyed this first episode, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe. You can always follow me over at AMX NDA Reviews on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep watching movies.